To get started, unpack the shade and remove all the foam and packaging materials. Check that all parts shown on the packing list are included with the order. Important note: cords are wrapped around a cord organizer located approximately 6 inches from the top of the moving rail. Please do not unwrap the cords until instructed to do so. Also, do not cut this cord. Here are the tools required to complete the installation: flat blade screwdriver, magnetic tipped Phillips screwdriver, level, measuring tape, pencil, power drill, 3 32 inch drill bit, 1/4 inch hex driver, scissors. Determine which Vertiglide stacking design you are installing. For our video, we will be installing a standard right stack outside mount and inside mount. First, we will mount the headrail for outside mount. Determine where to place the top of the installation brackets. Add the desired floor clearance to the ordered height of the shade. The ordered height can be found on the packaging label, either on the bag or on the headrail. Check for any uneven floor surfaces or high spots such as floor vents or carpet transitions. A minimum of 1/2 inch floor clearance is recommended. For outside mount, add 1/2 inch to the ordered height. Measure the total distance up from the floor. This is where to place the top of the installation brackets. The top of the installation bracket is the top of the shade. A minimum flat vertical surface of 1 1/4 inches is required to mount the brackets. Center the headrail over the window opening at the desired height. Use a pencil to lightly mark each end of the headrail. Mark end bracket locations 8 inches in from each end of the headrail. Mark the locations of any additional brackets, spaced evenly between the 2 end brackets. Mount the installation brackets at the determined locations for outside mount. Now let's prepare the outside mount headrail. First, remove the end plate from the stacking side of the headrail and remove the moving rail bracket from the headrail. Without reattaching the end plate, mount the headrail. Carefully align the headrail with the end marks on the mounting surface. Place the front groove on the headrail onto the front lip of the installation brackets. Rotate the rear of the headrail up and push back until the headrail snaps into place. Your outside mount headrail is now mounted. Inside mount headrail mounting. For inside mount, install the brackets 8 inches from the ends of the window. Attach the brackets with the screws provided. Mount the headrail into the installation brackets. Do not remove any components from the headrail. Both end plates should remain attached to the ends of the headrail. Position the end of the headrail opposite the fabric stack, flush against the jamb. This leaves a gap on the stationary rail side. The stationary rail fills the gap when anchored. Your inside mount headrail has now been installed. Next, we will install the fabric stack for outside mount. At the top of the fabric stack, install the stationary rail bracket into the grooves on the back of the stationary rail. Push it in until it's fully seated and the bracket catch clicks into place in the hole. Follow the same steps for the moving rail and the moving rail bracket. Install a stationary rail bottom bracket into the base of the stationary rail. After inserting the stationary rail bottom bracket, be sure that it stays in place. There is a sticker to remind you. Remove the sticker for the stationary rail. Hold the fabric stack by the mounting and stationary rails. Unwrap about 18 inches of cord off of the orange cord organizer. This will allow the fabric to spread out some while installing the fabric stack. Insert the moving rail bracket into the rear section of the headrail. Allow the bracket to move all the way into the headrail as you install the fabric carrier wheels. Insert the moving rail bracket from the left side for a left stack design or from the right side for a right stack design. Once the moving rail bracket is in the headrail, the moving rail is held for you. The clear stem fabric carrier goes in the rear channel and the black stem fabric carrier goes in the front channel. Slide the moving rail bracket and fabric carriers far enough into the headrail to hook the stationary rail bracket into place. Tilt the bottom of the stationary rail towards you and hook the bracket to the headrail as shown. Allow the stationary rail to hang freely. Reattach the end plate onto the stacking end of the headrail. Use the same 2 small screws that were removed earlier. Move the stationary rail flush with the end plate. To move the stationary rail bracket, pull the bottom of the rail into the room slightly before sliding the bracket. Level the stationary rail front to back and side to side. Attach the stationary rail bottom bracket using the screws provided. The bracket may be attached to the wall or floor. In most cases, to avoid drilling into the floor, it is attached to the wall. The stationary rail bottom bracket has an enlarged hole that allows you to drive the screw into the wall surface as shown. Secure the stationary rail bracket using the provided small screw. Hold the bracket in place, flush to the end plate, and screw through either of the 2 holes on the bracket. Two number 8 by 3/8 inch pan head screws are provided, one is a spare. Inside mount. Install the stationary rail bottom bracket into the base of the stationary rail. There is a sticker to remind you. Remove the sticker when completed. Insert the stationary rail bracket into the vertical rail on the side where the fabric stacks. Insert the bracket until it is seated and the bracket catch snaps in the hole on the back of the rail. Insert the moving rail onto the moving rail bracket until the bracket catch snaps into the hole on the back of the rail. The bracket fits into the grooves on the rear of the vertical rail. Check that the bracket catch is fully engaged. Fabric carrier wheels fit inside the headrail. Note that the headrail is notched on the stationary rail side to allow insertion of the wheels. Above the notch is a foam block to keep the wheels in place during installation. Compress the foam to install the fabric carrier wheels. The wheels with clear stems fit into the rear channel and the wheels with black stems fit into the front channel. Do not attach the stationary rail bracket until after inserting all fabric carriers. Hook the stationary rail bracket into place and move it flush against the jamb. Secure the stationary rail to the sill or floor using the stationary rail bottom bracket that was already inserted at the beginning of this step. The sill or floor is not an option, it may be attached to the jamb using the inside mount adapter. Secure the stationary rail bracket using the provided small screw. Hold the bracket in place and screw through either of the two holes on the bracket. Now we will set the cord tension. For inside mount and outside mount, setting the cord tension is the same. Unwrap the cord from the orange cord organizer. Remove any twists by running a finger between the two cords. Note that both ends of the cords are tied to a washer and the threader to prevent the cords from slipping into the vertical rail. Pull the orange cord threader through the large square opening on the end plate. Pull both cords into the primary slot in the end plate. Cut off the orange cord threader above the cord washers. One washer is the anchor washer. Pull the opposite cord taut to remove slack and seat the anchor washer. It will remain in the end plate slot. Cut the anchor washer from the end of the other cord and tie the cord to the metal cord tensioner using a square knot. Attach the cord tensioner to the headrail. Remove slack from the cord by moving the cord tensioner away from the end plate it is looped around. If the cord tensioner must be moved more than 1/3 of the headrail width away from its end plate to remove slack, retie the knot and trim the excess cord. Trim the end of the cord to about 1/2 inch. Do not put tension on the cords at this time, just remove the slack. To set desirable cord tension, move the moving rail about 1 inch from the shade being closed and let go of the moving rail. If the rail does not move, you have enough tension. If necessary, loosen the screw and readjust the cord tensioner by sliding it until the cord is taut. Once desirable cord tension is obtained, securely tighten the screw to ensure tension is maintained throughout the life of the product. At this time, ensure that the cord tensioner is fully seated into the location on the headrail. You may need to loosen the screw on the tensioner to push it all the way up so it is not rocked to one side. Fully seated means there is no space between the tensioner and the headrail. Adjust the moving rails to vertical. Work from the front side of the shade, pushing the fabric back slightly to access the moving rail bracket screws. To adjust the moving rail bracket to the right, loosen the left screw and tighten the right screw. To move the moving rail to the left, loosen the right screw and tighten the left screw. Your Vertiglide shade is now ready for the valance. Rotate the valance clip up to snap it into place on the top of the headrail. The valance clip must be located 12 inches or more from the cord tensioner. This allows for the valance to be attached to the headrail using the provided valance clips. Keep a minimum of 3 inches between the end of the headrail and the valance clips. Slide the valance return onto the corner end cap. Slide the valance corner end cap onto the valance. Insert the top of the valance into the top of the valance clip. Rotate the valance down to snap it into place.